Jack Thornton sat on the porch of his modest home, watching the sunset paint the sky with hues of orange and pink. The tranquility of the scene belied the turmoil that was about to unfold. Inside, his wife Mara was preparing dinner, her laughter mingling with the clinks of utensils. Their daughter Lily, a bright-eyed 7-year-old, played with a holographic puzzle on the living room floor. Jack took a deep breath, savoring the peace. His military days were behind him, replaced by the contentment of family life. He turned to see Lily's face light up as she solved the final piece of her puzzle. She looked up at him, her eyes filled with pride. "Daddy, look! I did it!" she exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement. Jack smiled, his heart swelling with love. "Good job, sweetheart. You're getting smarter every day." Mara stepped into the room, wiping her hands on a towel. "Dinner's almost ready. How about you two wash up?" As Jack and Lily headed to the kitchen, the peaceful evening was shattered by a loud, ominous hum. The ground vibrated and the lights flickered. Jack's soldier instincts kicked in, and he immediately went into alert mode. He ushered Lily behind him, his eyes scanning for the source of the disturbance. A piercing light flooded the room, and before Jack could react, the front door was blasted off its hinges. 3 towering aliens, clad in dark metallic armor, stormed in. At their head was Zarax, a menacing figure with glowing red eyes and a cruel smirk. Jack's blood ran cold. "Zarax," Jack muttered, recognizing the warlord from Galactic reports. His mind raced as he assessed the situation. "Stay back," Jack shouted, positioning himself protectively in front of Lily and Mara. But Zarax was unfazed. With a flick of his wrist, he sent Jack crashing into the wall, knocking the wind out of him. "Take the child," Zarax commanded, his voice dripping with malice. 2 of his soldiers grabbed Lily, who screamed in terror. "No, leave her alone," Mara cried, rushing towards them. But Zarax blocked her path, his gaze icy. "You have something we need, human," Zarax sneered. "And she will ensure your cooperation." Jack struggled to his feet, his vision blurred, but his determination unbroken. "You won't get away with this," he spat, his voice hoarse. Zarax laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the house. "I already have," he said, before disappearing in a flash of light, taking Lily and his soldiers with him. "We have to get her back," Mara whispered, her voice breaking. Jack nodded, his jaw set in determination. "We will. I promise." Desperation clawed at Jack as he contacted the Galactic Council, explaining the abduction and pleading for their help. But their response was cold and dismissive, viewing the incident as a minor inconvenience. Jack's anger boiled over. As hope seemed to fade, their communication system beeped with an incoming message. An alien face appeared on the screen, Zara, a diplomat known for her empathy towards humans. Jack listened intently as Zara explained Zarax's stronghold and offered advanced alien technology to aid in the rescue. Despite the Council's indifference, Zara's willingness to help rekindled a spark of hope. Mara, wiping her tears, joined Jack at the console. "What do we need to do?" she asked, her voice steady with resolve. Zara's holographic image flickered as she transmitted the schematics of Zarax's base. "Prepare yourselves. This mission will not be easy. But I believe in your strength and determination." Jack exchanged a determined look with Mara. "We won't let him keep our daughter," he vowed. That night, they worked tirelessly, preparing for the mission. Jack's military training and Mara's scientific expertise combined to form a formidable plan. The love for their daughter fueled their resolve, and by dawn, they were ready. As they stood at the threshold of their journey, Jack held Mara close. "We'll bring her home," he said, his voice filled with unwavering conviction. Mara nodded, her eyes fierce. For Lily. Jack and Mara stood in their dimly lit garage, transformed into a makeshift command center. Blueprints and schematics of Zarax's stronghold were spread across a large table. The holographic image of Zara flickered in the air, providing them with last-minute instructions. "The transport ship leaves in 2 hours," Zara informed them, her tone serious. "It's heavily guarded, but with the cloaking devices I've provided, you should be able to board undetected." Jack nodded, his mind focused on the mission ahead. Mara, her face set with determination, packed the last of their supplies into a compact bag. "We're ready," she said, her voice resolute. Jack approached Mara, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We'll get her back," he promised. Mara looked up at him, her eyes reflecting both fear and hope. They shared a brief, intense moment before Zara's voice cut through the silence. "Remember, timing is crucial," Zara emphasized. "The transport ship is your best chance to reach Zarak's base without drawing attention." Jack and Mara left their home, hearts heavy but spirits unbroken. They made their way to the outskirts of the city, where the transport ship was docked. The night air was crisp, the silence punctuated by the distant hum of alien machinery. Using the cloaking devices, they slipped past the guards and boarded the ship. Jack's military instincts guided their steps, while Mara's technological expertise helped them navigate the complex systems. They found a secluded corner to hide in, waiting for the ship to depart. As the ship's engines roared to life, Jack took Mara's hand, squeezing it gently. "Stay close," he whispered. Mara nodded, her grip tightening. The journey was tense. Every creak and groan of the ship made their hearts race. They communicated in whispers, planning their next move. Jack's thoughts were a whirlwind of strategies and contingencies, his mind never straying far from Lily. Hours passed, and the ship finally arrived at Zarak's stronghold. Jack and Mara waited until the crew disembarked before making their move. The base was a sprawling fortress of dark metal and glowing energy fields, a stark contrast to the serene landscapes of Earth. "Let's go," Jack whispered, leading Mara through the labyrinthine corridors. They encountered several alien guards, but their cloaking devices kept them hidden. Jack's pulse quickened with each step, his senses heightened by the danger surrounding them. They reached a central hub, where numerous pathways branched off in different directions. Jack consulted the schematics Zara had provided. "Lily's cell is this way," he said, pointing to a narrow corridor. As they moved deeper into the stronghold, the atmosphere grew colder, more oppressive. The walls seemed to close in on them, amplifying their anxiety. Jack's hand never strayed far from his weapon, ready to defend Mara at a moment's notice. They finally reached a heavily guarded door. "This is it," Mara whispered, her voice trembling with anticipation. Jack nodded, formulating a plan to neutralize the guards. Using a combination of stealth and precision, Jack took down the guards silently. Mara quickly hacked into the door's control panel, her fingers flying over the keys. The door slid open with a hiss, revealing a small, dimly lit cell. "Lily!" Mara gasped, rushing inside. Lily lay on a cot, her small frame curled up in a corner. She looked up, her eyes widening with recognition and relief. "Mummy, Daddy!" she cried, running into their arms. The reunion was brief, but filled with raw emotion. Jack hugged Lily tightly, his heart aching with both joy and sorrow. "We need to move, now," Jack urged, breaking the moment. He handed Lily a small cloaking device. "Put this on, sweetheart. It'll keep you safe." As they prepared to leave, the sound of heavy footsteps echoed down the corridor. Jack's heart sank. "We've been found out," he muttered, gripping his weapon tightly. They darted out of the cell, the sound of alien soldiers growing louder. Jack led the way, his military training taking over. He fired precise shots, disabling the soldiers without lethal force, adhering to his promise to keep violence to a minimum. The tension reached a boiling point as they neared an exit. The stronghold's alarm blared, and more soldiers swarmed towards them. Jack's mind raced, searching for an escape route. "This way!" Mara shouted, pointing to a maintenance shaft. They squeezed inside, the narrow space barely accommodating them. Jack sealed the entrance behind them, his breath coming in heavy gasps. They crawled through the shaft, the echoes of the alarm fading into the distance. The shaft led them to a secluded area outside the stronghold. Jack pushed open a grate, helping Mara and Lily out into the open. They were safe, for now. But Jack knew their ordeal was far from over. He looked at Mara and Lily, their faces pale but determined. "We need to find a way off this planet," he said, his voice resolute. Jack, Mara, and Lily huddled in the shadow of an alien structure, catching their breath. The stronghold loomed ominously behind them, its towering spires piercing the night sky. Jack knew they couldn't stay here long. Zarek's forces would soon be on their trail. "We need to find a way off this planet," Jack reiterated, scanning the horizon for any sign of transport. Mara nodded, her mind racing. There must be a hangar or a dock nearby. Zarek's ships can't be too far from his base. Lily clung to Jack, her small body trembling. "Daddy, I'm scared," she whispered. Jack knelt down, looking into Lily's eyes. "I know, sweetheart, but we're gonna get out of here. Together, I promise." Using the schematics Zara had provided, they navigated the alien landscape. Every sound, every shadow kept them on edge. Knowing danger lurked around every corner, Jack led the way, his senses sharpened by years of military training. They reached a large, fortified gate, guarded by 2 alien soldiers. Jack signaled Mara to stay back with Lily. He crept forward, his movements silent and precise. With swift, calculated actions, he incapacitated the guards, ensuring they wouldn't raise an alarm. Mara hurried to the control panel beside the gate, her fingers deftly working the alien technology. The gate opened with a low rumble, revealing a vast hangar filled with sleek, silver spacecraft. Jack's eyes scanned the ships, assessing their potential escape routes. "We need something fast and maneuverable," he said, guiding Mara and Lily towards a smaller, agile-looking craft. They approached the ship, but before they could board, an alarm blared through the hangar. Red lights flashed, and the sound of approaching footsteps echoed off the metallic walls. "Get inside!" Jack shouted, pushing Mara and Lily towards the ship's ramp. He turned to face the incoming soldiers, his weapon ready. He fired precise shots, disabling the soldiers without lethal force, aiming to buy them enough time to escape. Mara quickly accessed the ship's control panel, initiating the launch sequence. "It's ready," she called out, her voice tense. Jack backed up the ramp, firing one last shot before the doors sealed shut. He rushed to the cockpit, where Mara was already at the controls. "Strap in," she instructed, her hands moving rapidly over the unfamiliar controls. Lily clung to Jack, her eyes wide with fear but filled with trust. The ship shuddered as it lifted off the ground, the engines roaring to life. Jack watched the hangar recede on the view screen, relief washing over him as they soared into the sky. But their relief was short-lived. The ship's sensors beeped urgently, indicating an incoming fleet. Zarek's ships were in pursuit, and they were gaining fast. Mara's fingers flew over the controls, evading the initial barrage of laser fire. "They're not going to let us go easily," she muttered, her eyes focused on the display. Jack took a deep breath, his mind racing. "We need to find a way to lose them. Head for that asteroid field," he suggested, pointing to the dense cluster of rocks visible on the view screen. Mara nodded, steering the ship towards the asteroids. The craft weaved and dodged between the massive rocks, the alien ship struggling to follow. The tension in the cockpit was palpable, each close call sending Jack's heart racing. Just when it seemed they might escape, a larger ship appeared on the radar, blocking their path. Jack recognized it instantly. It was Zarek's command ship. "This isn't good," Jack said, his voice grim. Mara's hands tightened on the controls. "We have to fight our way through," she declared, determination hardening her features. Jack nodded, his resolve matching hers. "Lily, stay low and hold on tight," he instructed, readying himself for the battle. The command ship fired, and Mara skillfully evaded the blasts. Jack targeted their weapon systems, aiming for precision strikes. The ship rocked with each hit, the situation growing more dire by the second. As the command ship prepared to unleash a devastating attack, a sudden burst of energy struck it from the side. Jack and Mara looked at the view screen, astonished. Another ship had joined the fray, attacking Zarek's forces. "It's Zara," Mara exclaimed, recognizing the sleek design of the diplomat's ship. Zara's voice crackled over the comms. "Thought you could use some help," she said, her tone confident. With Zara's assistance, they managed to disable the command ship's weapons, creating an opening. Mara piloted their craft through the gap, leaving Zarek's fleet behind. They exited the asteroid field, the command ship receding into the distance. Jack let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding, the tension easing slightly. "Thank you, Zara," he said over the comms, his gratitude evident. "Don't thank me yet," Zara replied. We're not out of danger. Head to these coordinates. There's a safe haven where we can regroup. Jack input the coordinates, and their ship altered course. He glanced at Mara and Lily, a flicker of hope igniting within him. Jack, Mara, and Lily arrived at the coordinates provided by Zara. The safe haven was a hidden outpost, nestled within a dense asteroid belt, shielded from prying eyes and hostile forces. As they docked their ship, Zara's vessel landed beside them, its sleek design reflecting the cold light of distant stars. Jack exited first, scanning the area for potential threats. Satisfied, he motioned for Mara and Lily to follow. Zara approached them, her demeanor calm but urgent. "We don't have much time," Zara said, leading them inside the outpost. "Zarak's forces will eventually track us here." The interior of the outpost was a stark contrast to the bleakness outside. It was equipped with advanced technology and a small armory, a testament to its strategic importance. Zara guided them to a central command room, where a holographic display of Zarak's command ship hovered above a table. "We need to disable Zarak's command ship to ensure our escape," Zara explained, pointing to key systems highlighted on the display. "If we can take out their main power core, it will cripple their fleet and give us a fighting chance." Jack studied the display, his mind already formulating a plan. "We'll need to infiltrate the ship and plant charges at these points," he said, tracing the highlighted areas with his finger. "Mara, can you handle the explosives?" Mara nodded, her expression resolute. "I can rig them to detonate remotely, but we'll need precise timing." Zara looked at Lily, her eyes softening. "Lily will stay here, safe with me," she said. "You two handle the mission. I'll provide support from the outpost." Jack crouched down to Lily's level, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You stay here with Zara, okay? Mommy and I will be back soon," he assured her, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Lily nodded bravely, hugging him tightly. "Come back safe, Daddy." Jack and Mara armed themselves with the necessary equipment, each movement deliberate and focused. They boarded their ship once more, ready to face the final challenge. As they approached Zarak's command ship, the tension in the cockpit was palpable. "Stick to the plan," Jack reminded Mara, his eyes fixed on the looming vessel. "We get in, plant the charges, and get out. No detours." Mara nodded, her determination unwavering. "We've got this." They activated the cloaking device and slipped past the outer defenses. Inside the ship, they moved with practiced efficiency, avoiding patrols and security systems. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. They reached the first target area, a massive conduit pulsing with energy. Mara set to work, her hands steady as she planted the charges. Jack kept watch, his senses on high alert. Suddenly, a group of soldiers rounded the corner, their weapons raised. Jack reacted instinctively, taking them down with precise shots. The noise alerted more guards, and soon they were in the midst of a firefight. Charges set. Mara shouted over the din, her voice strained with effort. "Let's move," Jack ordered, covering her as they advanced to the next target. The corridors echoed with the sounds of battle, each encounter pushing their skills to the limit. They reached the second target, a control hub bristling with alien technology. Mara quickly set the charges while Jack held off the approaching guards. The odds were against them, but their resolve was unshakable. Just as Mara finished, Zarax himself appeared, flanked by his elite guards. His eyes blazed with fury as he confronted them. "You dare defy me, human?" he snarled, his voice dripping with contempt. Jack stepped forward, his weapon aimed at Zarax. "We're taking back what's ours," he declared, his voice unwavering. A fierce battle ensued, the confined space amplifying the intensity. Zarax was a formidable opponent, his strength and speed unmatched. But Jack and Mara fought with the desperation of parents defending their child. In a decisive moment, Mara managed to trigger the charges remotely. The ship shuddered as explosions rocked its core systems. Zarax, caught off guard, staggered back, giving Jack the opening he needed. With a final, determined strike, Jack incapacitated Zarax, ensuring he wouldn't pursue them. "We need to go, now," he shouted to Mara, pulling her towards the exit. They raced through the ship, the structural integrity failing around them. As they reached their ship, Jack sent a signal to Zara. "We're clear. Detonate the final charge." The outpost systems activated, sending a pulse that triggered the remaining explosives. Zarek's command ship erupted in a brilliant explosion, the shockwaves scattering the pursuing fleet. Jack and Mara's ships sped away, the relief palpable as they docked at the outpost. Lily ran into their arms, her tears of joy mirrored by their own. "We did it," Mara whispered, hugging Jack tightly.